Before we begin the press conference, I just want to take a moment, thank you so much, to introduce somebody who is very special to us. He is the reason why we are all here, and before we started shooting this movie, I said, brother, tell me what you want us to accomplish. He said, I just want the movie to be exactly what the television show was, which was a lot of heart, great action, and a lot of fun. So ladies and gentlemen, the man himself, Mr. David Hasselhoff.
This was really meant to be. For us, it was the scale that we wanted to expand from the series. We wanted to make a giant experience for the fans, and we wanted to turn the show, which is something that we love and revere so much, and turn it into just a big screen experience and really scale up the action, which is something that I think Seth and the cast did so brilliantly, and really just kind of create an opportunity for the audience to escape into the Baywatch lore. So that was the whole concept behind making it a movie.
What it means for me to come back to Berlin is my whole music career started here in 25 years ago, and with a song called Looking for Freedom. And my heart belongs to Berlin because you guys supported me and you're still supporting me. And that's one of the reasons I'm here for Baywatch, is to support Baywatch, because the cast is sensational. The director is terrific. And, you know, when I first heard about Baywatch, I found out that it wasn't going to be like our Baywatch. You can't recreate an 80s TV show. And they said, we're going to do it our way. And their way is really good. It's really funny, and it's a terrific movie, and I'm here to support it.
You know, when you have a rated R platform that we had, and with no restrictions and no handcuffs, you know, you want to have fun and you want to try and figure out ways that audiences are going to laugh a lot. And I think the idea of Zac and I in a boat together, only us, talking about, you know, we're trying to infiltrate the bad guy's lair, and then talking about our balls. So, you know, wound up being a big laughing moment in the script. So I can tell you that the entire cast worked extremely hard for this movie, even though it's a big action comedy, right? Rated R platform, big summer movie. Everybody wanted to have fun. But I mean, really, everybody came in just ridiculous shape. So I was really just one of the lucky ones around, you know, who got a chance to, you know, be next to these ladies who looked amazing. And then Zac, who came in like Zac's shape in this movie. Like I felt when I first saw him, and the whole cast, by the way, he came out of the tent and we were all like, holy shit. Like, he looked amazing. And I think that, you know, throughout the years in Hollywood, there's a lot of actors who prepare extremely hard for roles, and they come in great shape. Stallone, right? Rambo, and you know, guys along the way every decade. Like, Zac really raised the bar just in terms of how an actor can come in, a guy, in just crazy shape. I was all CGI.
I had, like, huge motivation. You know, there's no way. He's got probably the best physique in the world right now. So I just followed your lead, and I was really motivated to get into shape for this movie. And I wanted to represent an Olympic athlete and on swimmers the right way, and look like Bruce Lee. So I hope that worked out.
That was one of the reasons I was drawn to the script, is that the female characters were written so well, and they were such strong, independent women. And I think, you know, we wanted to make the film for a modern audience, and this is the year of the woman. And I think our characters represent strong professional women who are good at their jobs, but also, you know, don't take themselves too seriously. And they're just, I was very proud to be a female in this cast.
It was kind of genius for Seth to have manifested it in the way that it did, with the girls not being the one who really bared much of any skin at all, and rather the guys being the ones who were looked after for their
Man
fine
candy.
physiques. Yeah.
I moved to Hollywood about 8 years ago, and the roles that I audition for now and the kinds of roles for women in Hollywood have changed so much since I moved 8 years ago. So I think we've come very far. And I think that this movie, it's a comedy, and we're all supposed to be tough and strong, and it wouldn't have made any sense to make the women stereotypes of some sort of dumb bimbo or anything. Like, we had to make the women strong to make the roles work. And I think that's one of the reasons why this movie works so well.
It's really high time that we see female characters be represented the way they have been in this film. And that's what cinema today should stand for, is like strong female characters. And how many people can actually say they took on the rock and are alive to tell the story?
Yeah. The most powerful thing you could be is yourself. And, you know, over the years, I've learned to get really comfortable with who I am. And watch this transition. It's going to be very good. Someone who's extremely comfortable with who they are, because it required that to be for the role, is Jon Bass, who came in extremely comfortable with who he is, especially in this crazy...
Thanks, Dwayne.
Yeah, you're welcome,
That was
John.
one of the more seamless transitions
It was
I've ever
so
witnessed.
seamless.
That was way to bring it back to the movie.
From you to me to now Jon Bass, who is very comfortable in his own skin, obviously, and you know, with this cast. So, yeah, what do you think about that, John?
I think you said it, man. Dwayne is the captain of our team, and also was a captain on the film set. And there were a couple days, where I had to be shirtless next to Dwayne and Zac, who are two of the sexiest men alive. I mean, Dwayne is literally the sexiest man alive. No one would say that Zac is a far second. And there were days where I'd have to take off my shirt, and I'd look over at Dwayne, and he would just look at me, and in all sincerity, he'd go, "You look great. Own it, brother." And there's nothing makes you more psyched than hearing that. So thank you, Dwayne. And I'm glad I can bring a little bit more comfortability to people who don't look like those guys to the beach.
I watched Baywatch in high school. I was a big fan of the show, right? I think me and my buddies were a big fan of the show. We followed the storylines closely, and what I mean by that, I mean like the girls running around in slow motion, which was always great. But look, David is such a stud, and he's like a real OG. And at that time, if one of the biggest, if not the biggest star in the world, he's coming off a Knight Rider. I think Knight Rider was first.
Knight Rider was first.
Knight Rider was first, and then to Baywatch. So, and then I had the opportunity to meet David about 10 years ago in Hawaii, and I was shocked at how tall he was, how big he was, and how cool he was. So I was a big fan then of Baywatch, and bigger fan now.
I used to watch the show when I was far too young to be watching it. It came out when I was 4 or 5, but that didn't really stop me. I had quite good taste for a 4-year-old. And to be part of this project is surreal, just because, it sort of represents what people think of when they think of Southern California and sort of the American dream and people living, having fun in the sun. And that's what we sort of hope to capture in our version of the film. We wanted to bring back all the elements of the original TV show, but put a new spin on it and a new tone, which is much more comedic and sassy and tongue-in-cheek. But fans of the original show will certainly see what they loved about it in ours.
One of the main reason why I wanted to sign on to do Baywatch, the movie has been with Beau, Flynn, our producer, for 10 years. It came to me 5 years ago, and really was the opportunity to create a movie based off of not only a TV show, not only a successful TV show, but the most successful TV show of all time. I mean, it's just an unbelievable opportunity. And the fact that it was canceled after its first season in the States, went on in syndication, within, I think, a year, and then all of a sudden became the biggest show all around the world, was, again, I give
It's
so
all
much.
because of Germany, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we had we came to Germany and we said, we have a new show. And he says, "Do you have Knight Rider?" And I said, "No more Knight Rider." And they said, "Does it have a car?" And I said, "No, it doesn't have a car." "Are you in it?" And I said, "Yes, but it's the same, feeling of Knight Rider. It's about saving lives." And they said, "But no car." And I said, no car. They said, "Okay, we buy it anyway." And honest to God, you guys gave us $425,000 per episode, and that's how the show began and lasted 245 episodes with over 1 billion people. Because of Germany.
I didn't watch every single episode, but I do have vivid images of Baywatch, classic, Pamela Anderson emerging from the water, and David Hasselhoff's amazing save scenes, and just his iconic image. And I think we were pretty far into filming. It was towards the end of filming, but I got on the low a text that he was secretly coming to set. And I've never jumped out of bed so fast. I ran down to set just to see if he was still there. and he was there shirtless with Dwayne, and in all of his glory, he turned around and like locked eyes with me, and I'll never forget that moment of seeing how handsome and tan and awesome he was. And then after that, we shook hands, and I just went into a dream state. It was a dream come true. And he's such a cool guy and so humble, and thanks for coming out and being a part of this, man.
No,
Thank
you're
you
welcome.
so much.
Thank you. First time I saw you, I realized I would never be in that kind of shape ever.
I was really excited, because it was an opportunity again for us to do something that was big and fun and take a show that was loved around the world and create something cool. So, I talked to David very early, and again, he just shared with me, like, look, I would love the movie to have the same spirit of what the show had, which was big action, heart, and a lot of fun. So, and I think we accomplished that. And so, yeah, no pressure.
She's definitely one of the more seasoned lifeguards on the beach, and Mitch's right hand. I think he counts on her to kind of, take charge when he's not around, and they have a wonderful partnership. And she's got this really strong sisterhood with the other ladies on the beach, which is representative of the bounds we spoke about women making in Hollywood. They're just a great team, and she's definitely the more zippered up and reserved of the bunch, but it suits who she is and comes from a place of responsibility for the job.
I felt like for anyone who knew the show, they knew red swimsuits and slow-mo running and the beach and David and Pamela. And I felt like it was important to get elements of all of that in the movie, but also with a bit of a wink so we could acknowledge what the past was, but also not take ourselves too seriously. I think it's really important, especially right now, how things are in the world, to be able to just have a laugh. And that I think this film really needed to, set up the show had done so wonderfully, but then move past it and start a new legend, if you will.
I worked out for 6 weeks before I met Dwayne because I knew I'd have to take a picture with him. And
I have that picture.
I'd met him 10 years ago, so I know he was a cool guy. But he brought his mother on the set to meet me, which really got my attention. I thought that was really cool. Baywatch was 25 years ago, and I've moved on from Baywatch a long time ago, even though I still run in slow motion and still wear the jacket and the rescue can for a commercial here and there. And I knew that, Dwayne said it's not going to be like Baywatch. It's going to be similar to Baywatch, but it's like Seth said. It's we need to laugh at ourselves, and that's what this movie is about. It's funny, and we need that in this world. So I was fine with him playing Mitch, and I was fine with moving on.
I just really had to laugh, right? So when the criticisms came in, you got to laugh at stuff like that. And I know, and a lot of the critics in the States and even around the world here too in Germany, they're all my friends, right? So we're all in the same business. And I had a good laugh about it. And the reason why it didn't concern me is because of our cinema score. And so the cinema score, which we have all around the world and certainly here in Germany too, when the audiences leave, they give their reaction and they give their own critique. And our cinema score bordered on 90%, a B+. So we all knew that the fans were walking out happy, and that was really all that mattered.